Day 3 of Flyers training camp was scrimmage day here in Voorhees, and it was a packed house at the Flyers training center to watch them play in game situations for the first time in the 2025-2026 season. I'm Charlie O'Connor with PHLY Sports and PHLY Flyers, and these are your Flyers post-practice notes. So as noted, today was the scrimmage, and the scrimmage kicked off with the first round of special teams work for the Philadelphia Flyers at this camp. For the first time, we got an idea of possibly what the Flyers' top power play unit might look like for Game 1, and it was probably about as you would expect. Michkov, of course, Trevor Zegras, Travis Sanheim, Sean Couturier on the top unit, and Jamie Drysdale up top. But after special teams work got done, it was time for the heart of the scrimmage. 25 minutes of 5-on-5 play, followed by some 4-on-4, some 3-on-3, and even a shootout battle. So how did the real part of the scrimmage go? Well, I think the best word to describe it would be sloppy, which should be expected. It's 3 days into camp. These guys are still working the summer hockey out of their games, but it was chippy, it was choppy, it was physical, we'll say that. But as Rick Tocchet pointed out, there was still a bit too much perimeter play for his liking, which again, makes sense. These guys are still in summer hockey mode. They're far from playoff mode. So who scored? Well, there were quite a few scores. Not a ton, but enough. Bobby Brink scored in the shootout. Alexis Gendron scored. We had a goal from Jack Nesbitt off of a nice play from Nikita Grebenkin. And Trevor Zegras got his unofficial first goal wearing the orange and black. But those were just the goal scorers, not necessarily the people who stood out the most. We talked to Rick Tocchet after the scrimmage, and he had two players in particular, both on the back end, who've stood out to him, not just in the scrimmage, but throughout the first 3 days of camp overall.
Well, I've actually liked York's camp. I thought, for me, he was good today. I think he hasn't. Usually in camp, you'll see guys have their, like a staircase. They'll have a good day, and then they kind of come down a bit. I think Yorkie's been keeping that pattern pretty high. I've actually liked him. Drysdale, same thing, doing stuff that we're trying to do. He's skating well out there. I notice those guys. Everybody's really working hard, but those guys haven't seen them fall off yet.
Now let's move to the three players, probably at the top of the list in terms of the biggest camp battle. There's one, maybe two spots in the Flyers forward core waiting to be won at this camp. And the top three guys on the list, Nikita Grebenkin, Alex Bump, and Jet Luchenko. I would say all three were impressive in their own ways at today's scrimmage. With Grebenkin, he pretty much just played the exact same way he's played since the start of rookie camp. Smart passes, winning battles, showing his physicality. He had a really nice setup on the Nesbitt goal where he took the puck to the net. It was 3-on-3, so there was more space, but that goal doesn't happen if Nikita Grebenkin isn't taking the puck to the place where goals are scored. And as Tocchet pointed out, not a lot of guys are doing that, so that stood out to him and surely stood out to the front office members as well. Luchenko was impressive in his usual subtle ways, and not to say that high-end speed is subtle, but it's not like he's going out there making a ton of big plays with the puck, but he's just making things happen. He's skating the puck through the neutral zone. He's making subtle plays without the puck. He's moving the play forward. Luchenko looks good. He was really good on the penalty kill. They had him out there a few times. So Luchenko very much keeping himself in the mix through 3 days. Now, Alex Bump, I wouldn't say he got off to a bad start, but he got off to a little bit of maybe a painful start. The very first shift, he tried to go wide on Travis Sanheim on a rush, and Travis Sanheim quickly buried the kid. And Sanheim was, let's say, a little apologetic maybe after practice about that one.
I mean, I wasn't trying to hit him as hard as I did. I guess I got him pretty good, but I was just he tried to take me wide and just try to finish him. Ride him into the boards, and I guess I got him more than I thought I did. But he's going to understand. Playing against bigger guys, playing at the pro level, that there's going to be certain situations like that where you're going to have to use your body in a different way and protect yourself. And I'm sure he might not do that again.
But after that, I would say Bump settled in. He was making plays. He's on that line with Trevor Zegras and Travis Sanheim. He settled in, was making some plays, had a really nice play in the neutral zone where he was falling down but got the puck forward to Zegras, creating a 2-on-1. And he actually inflicted some punishment of his own later in the scrimmage, knocking down Matthew Guard in a collision in the middle of the ice. I would say all three of the guys at the top of the list impressed, but they weren't the only ones who impressed. As I mentioned, Alexis Gendron scored in the scrimmage. He impressed. He's been on a line with Luchenko and Tippett, a very fast line, all plus skaters. But Gendron, I would say, has been maybe the biggest pleasant surprise of camp. He stood out from the start of rookie camp. He's just making plays, and he's positioning himself maybe to jump Samu Tuamala, who has largely been playing with AHLers at camp, while Gendron is getting the opportunity to play with guys like Owen Tippett. I also, again, like the play of Jack Nesbitt, who continues to open eyes at this camp. Look, the skating, as I've mentioned, it still needs a lot of work, but it just seems like he knows where to go. The goal he scored in this scrimmage, yeah, Grebenkin did a lot of the work, but Nesbitt was right there. He was there to gobble up that loose puck and put it in the back of the net. That's instincts, that's timing, and that's hockey smarts, and he's been showing all of that really from the start of rookie camp. Moving to the defense, I felt Helge Grans had a strong day winning battles along the boards. He was involved in the setup for the Gendron goal. He's not standing out in a massive way, but he's very much keeping himself in the mix for that sixth spot to replace Rasmus Ristolainen, assuming he's not ready for the start of the year, and he almost certainly will not be. His biggest competition, Emil Andre, was fine today. He made some plays, but I felt like he got more effective as fewer players were on the ice. And the 5-on-5 didn't pop as much. Got to 4-on-4, he was making more plays. Got to 3-on-3, he was making even more plays, which makes sense. He's a skill guy, he's a smaller guy, but obviously most of the game is played at 5-on-5. So right now, I think if I was handicapping it, I would probably put Grans a little bit ahead of Andre, but they're both very much in the mix heading into the preseason slate. As for the two veteran defensemen in that battle for the 6th spot, and then even maybe the 7th or 8th spot if they keep two extra defensemen, Noah Juleson and Dennis Gilbert, I thought one was head and shoulders above the other today at the scrimmage. Gilbert impressed. He was flying around, he was making plays, looked quick, looked physical, looked effective. Noah Juleson, on the other hand, not the best first impression. He did not look very fast, got burned on a couple of occasions in coverage. It was not the greatest debut for Juleson. Now, Juleson does have history with Rick Tocchet. He played for him last few years in Vancouver, so he might have that leg up on the competition, but at least in terms of what he did on the ice today, not that impressive to my eyes. And finally, he may not be competing for a roster spot. He's probably competing for a spot as the opening night starter. Sam Ersson, I thought, was strong. He especially thrived in the shootout, where he was perfect, stopping every shot he faced. He was strong, and Ersson needs to have a strong camp. Obviously, last year was a disappointment for him, having the opportunity to seize that #1 job and then struggling, dealing with injury. This could be a big year for Sam Ersson. It will be a big year for Sam Ersson one way or the other, and he's hoping it's a big year because he steps up to take control of that job and push Dan Vladar, who's very much pushing for time, to the #2 role. So next up for the Flyers, their preseason schedule officially begins on Sunday night. They will be playing the New York Islanders at 7 p.m. up at UBS Arena. So far, we haven't gotten details about streaming. It won't be on television, but it might be streamed. Keep an eye out on the Flyers Twitter, on their website. Possibly it will be streaming. I will not be there covering the game, but I will certainly be watching it if we have the ability to do so. I'm Charlie O'Connor with PHLY Sports. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.